Good afternoon. Thank you for joining me today. My name's Narelle Walkon and I'm from Queensland, Australia. I was going to come on live and do something a little bit different today, but I wanted to ask you a question first. One of the things I've been watching a movie just recently, and I've actually posted that into my Facebook group, Carnivore Aussie Style. So, again, I'd like to welcome you all here. Thank you for joining me this afternoon. And I am about to share some great information, not only about my journey with onpassive.com, onpassive, but also um, Carnivore is amazing, and it really is something that has changed my life. And I want to share those few details with you. So, one of the things that came up for me in the video that I've been watching about the US health, and again, if you can go over to my Facebook page and have a look at my Carnivore Aussie Style Facebook page, follow, like, I do a couple of things in there and also these lives every week. So one of the things that was said was, um, if you if your grocery store has a health section, then what does that make the rest of the food in the store? Now, that really sort of hit me hard in a sense of I hadn't really thought about it that way. I know that for many years, many professionals, I suppose, those nutritionalists, say to shop on the outside of the aisles, like the aisles that will bring you meat, um, without being all packaged stuff or tin stuff. So it's sort of known a little bit about that. But when it said, if your grocery store has a health section, then what does that make the rest of our food? Now, back in my day, I grew up good parents, mum and dad grew beautiful vegetables. I lived on a dairy farm where we had fresh milk, fresh cream, amazing. I can tell you that there is nothing out there like that today. And probably even dairy farms that don't have the quality that we had back in the day. But one of the things I suppose is, are you, suffering from something in your life? Are you suffering from a sickness, an illness, something that you've had for a length of time, just being diagnosed, anything like that? The reason why I'm asking is, these days it's so easy for the doctors to prescribe drugs for what you have wrong with you. Now, it could be high blood pressure, it could be type 2 diabetes, it could be pre diabetic, you could have, gut problems, any sort of health problems, I suppose, that could be a problem, or have drugs prescribed for it. And I want to ask you this question: are you getting better by being on those medications? Now, I listened to and researched quite a bit about carnivore lifestyle change, and I really realized that a lot of people have been on blood pressure tablets. Now, I don't have a problem personally with blood pressure. My doctor did have me on them after my open heart surgery, and I quickly took myself off of them after doing the research because I didn't need them. I just had open heart surgery. I had clean arteries. I had a triple bypass. Why did I need blood pressure tablets when my blood pressure had been fine all of my life, even through my pregnancies? So I sort of questioned it, and then I made a deal with my doctor, because my doctor tends to know me, that I do a lot of research. I know my own body very well. I don't just go on what they say, because I do believe that doctors these days aren't there to necessarily help you get better. Now, I will go over to that shortly, but I said to my doctor, okay, you say I need them. I say I don't. So, how about we do a 3-month trial, no tablets, and let's see what happens after that. Now, so he agreed, because I would have done it anyway. He agreed that that was okay as long as I got my blood pressure taken, a couple of times, 2 or 3 times a week. Yeah, I could get it done at the chemist here, and just have it written down or kept on their file so that I could take it to the doctor after the 3 months and show him what my blood pressure was. So after the 3 months, I went back. My blood pressure had been fine in all of that time. So why take a drug into my body that may not be doing great things for other parts of my body? You know, we're all getting older, and we all got to look at what we're actually doing or consuming into our bodies. Um, you know, he then agreed, well, I didn't need them because my blood pressure had been fine. So again, I questioned everything when I go to my doctor. And I think that you should start to question your doctor too if you're on certain medications. You know, do they mix well together? You know, does blood pressure go with this or that or whatever? Look at it and question everything. This is your body, your health. You know, I think one of the things, and again, through my research, I see this, and I personally have lived through this experience, is that too many doctors are saying that your cholesterol should be really low, like under 4. Now, if you do some research, you will find that your brain, your heart, your whole body needs cholesterol. And it's not cholesterol that gives you a heart attack. Now, I had a heart attack back in 2015, and I ended up having open heart surgery. Now, I had a generic, you could call it, mum had open heart surgery at about the age of 77. My dad had had 2 heart attacks and a stroke. Now, mum lived on to be 87. You know, that's a fairly good age. Dad passed away at 79. But I obviously had some genetics, I suppose, handed down, whereas I may have had a weakness there, calcification build up and things like that. Now, again, my research shows that the build-up of calcification, or what they seem to think or call it in the arteries, excuse me, comes more from inflammation than it does from cholesterol. Cholesterol is needed in our body, and I want to share this with you today because I think this is really important. If you're on a statin, please question, go and research. If you have cramping, if you have pains, if you have neuropathy, if you have problems with your muscles or not feeling 100% while taking your statin, then you need to question it, because statins will kill you faster than a high cholesterol reading. Now, this is really important. Like I said, I've lived through this. I had open heart surgery. They put me on a statin, and I was on it for 4 years before I realized that there was something wrong. And I stopped it immediately, because it's not one that you have to come off slowly or wean yourself off of it. And I started to get better in my body. I tell you, it was causing so many problems. I had frozen shoulder after open heart surgery, which I suffered horrific pain. Now I realize, looking back, because we can't always see when we're at that point, is that the statin was probably causing a lot of those muscular pains. And like I said, I went off of it and I've never looked back. Like I said, what we're told today, it's like the nutrition in food. You know, we're told this is good for you, that's good for you. You grow up with this, you get, you know, and in my day, what probably was good, you know, fruit and veggies we picked them straight out of the ground, off the bush or off the tree. You know, we had amazing tasting fruit and veggies. I tell you what, and I haven't had one obviously for a long time because I don't eat that food anymore. But the last time I tried a mandarin, it was nearly as hard as a rock. It had no juice to it. And I took it back to the store to get a refund, because why pay for something that I couldn't eat? Now, that was a little while ago, a few years ago. And today, you know, I'm carnivore, and I've been carnivore now for, I think I'm a couple of days short of 5 months. And I've stopped counting sort of days, because in the beginning you start to count, and it's fine, you know, because that's what you're looking at. One of the things, again, I wanted to bring up today was about the fear of food. Now, where does that come from? We get told this food pyramid is supposed to be what you follow. But again, you need to step back and take a little bit better look at that. Why are they pushing that grains and bread and sugar and all those things are okay for us, when we know, if you do your research, that sugar is one of the worst things that you can put into your body. Now, they can come in many ways, and it sometimes can be hidden in foods, and food labels are so no added sugar. And a lot of people get that mixed up because they think, oh, it's got no sugar. No, it's got sugar. They just didn't add any more into it. So label reading has become one of those things, I think, over the years. But the thing is, most of us don't know what those things are. And what I can say to you is that if it's something that you can't pronounce, if it's something that has a number after it, it's not going to be any good for your body. They hide things in labels, and they don't always have to tell you exactly what's in that product. So be very careful. Now, the reason I went over to Carnivore nearly 5 months ago was because I'd had enough of my type 2 diabetes. I'm a pretty healthy lady. I was, after heart surgery, it took me a little while to recover from that. And most of that was more of an emotional thing. When you've had open heart surgery, and unless you're somebody that's actually had it, you will never understand the full extent of the emotions that go with that. Having your chest cut open, having your heart worked on, being on the um, heart lung transplant. It's keeping you alive while they're working on your heart. I have been through a fairly tough life, having survived sexual, physical, and mental abuse. I am an author. Narelle Walk-On, Blonde Roots is my book. You can see that on the banner behind me. And my website is narellewalkon.com. So I've had a pretty tough life, but I tell you, when you think that you have gone through or sorted all your crap out in your life, open heart surgery just brings it to a different level. So I had open heart surgery. I survived. I think sometimes you go through a little bit of a, wow, I didn't know, I should have done this, or I could have done that. But you are on a journey, and it's a different journey completely. I am in Facebook groups all over. They are people from all over the world that also look, and talk about their surgeries, and it's really good to have that support group. Now, there are support people around for carnivore, and if you go looking for them, you will find different doctors, and I'm going to show these over the next couple of weeks, different things that the doctors talk about. So these are full medical doctors, but they're also carnivore doctors. So they know the ins and outs of what our body needs. The thing about inflammation in our body, which is the real killer of most things, or the beginning, I suppose, of many diseases comes from inflammation in the body. Now, like I said, I do a lot of research over time. Carnivore has been great for me in the sense that not only have I lost a bit of weight, which I wasn't really concerned about, as you get older, it's okay to carry a little bit, but I have lost 7 kilos. I did it for my type 2 diabetes, which I have explained on previous videos before. So if you get a chance, you can go back over them, have a look at my website, which is Narelle Walk-On, excuse me, Carnivore Aussie Style. So have a look on Facebook for that. Go over and just follow, I like it, whatever. I don't go overboard with it, but I certainly like to bring information that I think is hugely important, that you need to start questioning your doctor, your specialist, and things, rather than just leave it up to them to pump you full of stuff that isn't real good for your body. Now, like I said, I eat meat. I have occasional fish, and I have occasional chicken. I only for a bit of a change. I think as women, we tend to want to eat something a little bit different. You've been cooking for your kids all of your life, or your partner, or whatever, and it was always about, what are we going to have for dinner? These days, I know that the younger generation are more into having things that are fast foods and things like that. But if you still cook, this is one of the easiest things that you can do. Now, cooking choice is, what are you having for dinner? Okay, because I only eat 1 meal a day. My body only requires 1 meal a day. I feel so much healthier. My skin feels healthier. I just have more energy. I can go right through the day without any real slumps. Now, again, like I said, I eat meat. Some people eat ground, they call it ground beef or minced meat. I'm not right into that. That's my personal choice. I like a good steak and I just grill it. I have a gas cooker and I just grill it, and it's absolutely amazing. You can have bacon, eggs, butter. Now, I want to talk about butter just quickly, because butter I found, um, we were always buying butter. Remember, I'm a dairy farmer's daughter. So mum used to make her own butter, and you can make your own butter, which I may get around to doing one day, so I know exactly what's in it. But I buy an organic butter. There are a couple of brands, I think West Gold, but I do buy an organic butter, and I can tell you that I would never have done this before, but I can actually go to the fridge, take it out, and cut off a chunk and just eat butter. Now, who would do that? Wouldn't it make your mouth feel yucky? And maybe it has years ago when it wasn't a good quality butter. So just remember that what you're trying to look at or do is change over to things that are of good quality. So just remember, meat, some chicken, some fish, definitely eggs, high protein, beautiful meat. There's nothing wrong with meat. Our ancestors had meat, and maybe they did have some berries and nuts. But what I want to ask you is this. I have another question. What would stop you from trying this way of eating? And do you think that you could do it for 30 days, 60 days, 90 days? Because what the doctors recommend is that you try it for 90 days. Now, it's for the first couple of weeks, it's going to be a little bit different. And for me, it was as well, because all of a sudden I didn't really have to think about it. I just had to make sure that I had what I needed to eat in the fridge, so that I had things readily available. Now, like I said before, we as women tend to be emotional eaters. We tend to sort of look for something sweet. We celebrate with food when we're happy, sad, pinged off, in all different areas. But you can make this work. And if I can make it work, anyone can make it work. Because, over the years, you tried different diets, you've tried them, you've lost the weight, you put it back on, because you weren't necessarily sustaining a good quality change or way of eating. I think that if you don't want to go full carnivore, and I will have some details on my page, my website, I'll duck over to there now just quickly, just to show you. There is just one moment. Okay, I think that's being seen. So this is the video here that I'd love you to watch. It is very lengthy, but honestly, it is absolutely 100% worth watching. So as we know, the Americans are in a really big health crisis. And if you think, well, that's just America, it's not us. Well, believe you me, it can affect all of the world. So, so we have one of the carnivore doctors, and I have some pictures over here of food that I cook, which is really important. I tried chaffles, which was a mixture of egg, cheese, and chicken, and put into my little waffle maker that you buy from Kmart. It costs about $15. And it was absolutely beautiful. I think I have tried it with tuna as well, and I think it was really good. Look at these massive, great big T-bones for myself and my son. And there is a picture here, and this just shows you a graph. I can't bring it up much bigger. So where you can start on Carnivore, and it gives you a few more options. Then you can go over to Carnivore, once you've sort of been on Carnivore and changing, because, when we make changes in our life, it's not always easy. The Lion Diet, I think, is something maybe down the track that I will try. At present, I'm happy with what I'm doing. Like I said, I eat one meal a day, and, so it's it's how you sort of go on with it, and you find that you're just not hungry. High protein and high fat are amazing. And honestly, I'm due to have my bloods done again soon, so I'll be happy to sort of bring that back to you and share it. So I'll just come back over here for now. So yeah, pop over, have a look at my website. Like I said, I bring information there. I do lives every week. I'm going to start interviewing, people who want to share their carnivore journey, because I think it's important. Particularly here in Australia, some people are just hearing about it. Some people have been on it for, a couple of years. I had a gentleman that shared his story just recently, Ian Gundrill, who has been on it, I think, about 18 months to 2 years. Lost an amount of weight that was incredible. His story is really a good one to watch. And I think it's important when we're starting or looking at something different that we want to hear what other people got to say. And particularly here in Australia, a lot of the American doctors, Dr. Chaffee, Dr. Berry, like I said, I'll be bringing some of their information through on my page, in my group. But I think it's important that you hear from other fellow Australians. We have probably one of the best meat qualities here in Australia, from all over, whether it's coming from New Zealand, Tasmania, for lamb and things like that. Is really important that you look at just the quality. But you'll find that some of the carnivore doctors will tell you, just get off the sugar. Get off the white rice, get off the pasta, get off the flours and the grains, and you will see a remarkable difference in your body. So today I want to say thank you for being here. I think that's all I've got to share today. I think it's important, like I said, just one last thing before I go, is that you need to start questioning what is it you're putting into your body. And I'm not talking about just food. I'm talking about what the doctors are prescribing for you. There are many things that you need to start researching yourself and start looking into. We no longer have doctors that are there to make you better. Remember, it is the money is the greedy, the people out there, big pharma, if you want to call them that, are out there, and they get more money if you remain sick. So remember that. This is your body. You have one life. I love you all. Thank you so much for listening to me today. I do appreciate you being here. If you find this video amazing, please subscribe and like to my channel. It's really important that we do encourage each other and that we share what our journeys are. So thank you once again. Remember, I am Narelle Walk-On. I'm from Mackay, Queensland, Australia. I am a published author. Narelle Walk-On, Blonde Roots is the name of my book. If you want to search for it, it is also downloadable on Kindle from Amazon, or contact me personally, and I can organise you a signed copy from here in Australia. I look forward to seeing you again next week, or even beforehand. Maybe I might do a spontaneous live as different things happen and I hear and research different things. But please pop over to my website, have a look at that video. Like I said, it is quite long. Take your time to go through it, but there's some information on there that I think is important, not just for the American people, but for the world, in what's happening in our health system. Take care. Love to you all. Bye for now.